Hey, what's going on, you guys? And welcome back to another episode of iTrack. Hey, huge shout out to Cali for tapping in, man. New York and Chicago too. I appreciate you guys. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos from all around the internet and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. But before we get into any of that, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button, and subscribe if you're not a part of the iTrack fam. And let's go ahead and get right into it.
Okay, tell me how creepy this is. I went to 85 degrees. My total came out to 666, and the date today is 666.
My dog's weirded out. If my dog knows something ain't right, man. You okay?
Hey, that dog gave him a look like, hey, we should probably get on out of here.
This strange clip shows a ritual practice linked to the Brazilian religion Umbanda, and what happens is hard to believe. Candles burn beside a small altar holding miniature figures and a cross. Then the fire does something bizarre. It begins swirling like a tornado inside the room. The fiery vortex even changes color, shifting from orange to blue and back again. It looks so surreal, you'd think it wasn't real, but it was filmed. Then, the raging spiral calms down and disappears, and somehow none of the objects on the altar appear burned. That's what really unsettled people. Many claimed dark magic was involved, because how does a fire tornado form indoors and leave everything untouched?
If you turn Pepsi upside down, you get is dead. Then if you go to Aldi, if you notice on Aldi, you have the number 3 lines, and it says all die. And this is a massive food shopping place in the UK. You need to read symbolism.
This video is going viral right now when a woman got a new license plate in Indiana and noticed that it says 5G on it. So license plates now have 5G for wireless tracking. This is from Gina Marie. I'll show you her profile here. So this is who broke the story. Gina Marie Colvin Hill. And it's all over Twitter. It's going viral all over the place. People can't believe it. So I did some digging. Smart license plates. It's a smart license plate equipped with cellular and GPS technology, including 4G and 5G connectivity, are an emerging vehicle technology designed to replace traditional metal plates. Wow, how did I not see this coming? They're replacing everything and making it smart and AI, but I never thought they would go after license plates. Now, of course, look how efficient this is going to be and convenient. That's what it's all about. Automated registration, you just do it on your phone, boom, bang, bing. It can help people stop stolen cars. Is that why they're doing it, though? Is that why they're doing it? Because hold on, there's an interesting dichotomy here. Criminals need the police. Police need the criminals. Because of the police, criminals have a job to get goods and things that are not allowed into places and around that aren't supposed to be there. And police's job is to stop that. If there were no criminals, we would not need police. So if the actual goal here is to have zero crime, then a lot of people are going to be out of business, out of a job. That's not what this is about. Of course, they will be able to track stolen vehicles, and they already have used flock cameras to do this. But I'm thinking what you're thinking, which is that this is meant to be used to track, monitor, and surveil us, just like in the movie Minority Report, which I was watching last night briefly. It's shocking what that freaking movie was talking about, man. I don't know that this is about safety and security more than it's about surveillance and control. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
I'm leaning a bit more into surveillance and control because you know what? You'll never just stop everybody. There will always be people that want to take the easy way, for sure.
We all have these halos depicted behind scenes. It's not just for them. It's not just to show who's holy. These are our auras, energy fields that are layered beyond our bodies. They contain a lot of information about us because they are an extension of our energy. But what if they acted as two-way radios and we could receive vital information? Think of when you walk into a room and you can cut the tension with a knife and you know the vibes are off, and so you proceed with caution. That's just an example of how our auras absorb information. According to this, if we think of our auras as radios, we could be picking up 4 or 5 channels at once. These frequencies literally penetrate our physical body, and we process and respond to them without even realizing it. It explains that some of these channels may be louder to us than others, but it's best to try to listen to all of them, because if we're only tuning into the loudest one, we might be missing some of the guidance that we're getting from our intuition. because sometimes that's the one we tend to quiet down the most. So really the question you should be asking yourself is, which channel are you tuning into the most? Because that's the one that you're letting run your life.
All right, let's talk about the egg. And no, not the breakfast kind. The newly released egg UAP video that has the internet divided right now. On one side, you've got skeptics who say it's utter garbage, trash, CGI hoax. On the other side, you have people who are truly fascinated by it and say it could be one of the best UAP videos to date. And here's the kicker. It's not just some random viral clip. This has been vetted. It's actually backed by a nuclear commander and several tier 1 operators. These aren't the type of people who will just back anything. They know their way around secret military tech, and they know their credibility is on the line. But here's the big question. What if it is real? So let's take a second and zoom out, and let's really think about this. If what we're looking at is an actual NHI craft, this is monumental. It's a shift in the paradigm. It's proof that we're not alone, and these visitors, whoever they are and wherever they're from, are so much more highly advanced than we ever realized. So are you team skeptic? It's utter nonsense garbage, or are you team egg? It's real.
Milking room. I hope you cows are decent. Crap on a crutch!
Ow! Ugh, my bones are so brittle. But I always drink plenty of milk.
Check this video out, y'all. Clear footage of a 12-foot Sasquatch. Look at him right there. Look at that eyebrow ridge. You can see the nose. Just amazing. Look at that. Let me bring it back just a little bit. Look at that. He's crouched down. Just amazing. Here, I'll bring it back just a little bit again. This is a legit Sasquatch, you guys. You can see the eyes, the mouth, the nose. Look carefully.
Hey, now maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but that almost looked like a monkey. And maybe more specifically an orangutan. I could be way off, right? But tap in and let me know. Is that a monkey or is that a Sasquatch?
Google is seeking approval to release up to 32 million mosquitoes infected with a specific bacteria that prevents reproduction across California and Florida over the next 2 years in an effort to reduce mosquito-borne illnesses. The EPA is accepting public comments through June 5th before making a decision.
This is how the body reacts when we lie. Check this out.
When we lie, our bodies get very weak. So stick your arm out. Yeah. And hold it up. Don't let me push it down, okay? Now, I want you to do that while lying. And the lie I'd like you to say is, I love to vomit.
I love to vomit. Why? That's so weird.
Now say, I love fresh air.
I love fresh air.
Now say, I love to vomit.
I love to vomit. Why is that? When I said I love to vomit, it was like I wasn't actually connected to my strength and my hands.
Exactly.
It was like I was inside my head, so I couldn't also at the same time think about you're about to push me.
Right.
It was like there was two different systems.
Yes, because the body lives in reality. The body is honest. Only the mind, and only the verbal mind, can lie to us and tell us things that we can believe even though they're not true.
Hey, that might be the official test to see if somebody's lying to your face or not.
This UFO object was seen through night vision goggles. Now notice when they point the laser at it, it cloaks invisible. Now I don't know what type of technology can cloak something invisible on night vision goggles, but look at this. This is clearly technology that is not of this world.
I'm I'm just spreading awareness because I've seen other videos of people talking about how it seems like our meat or chicken isn't like real anymore. I was washing the chicken. I was going to cook this. I was washing it in the sink and it started falling apart. And look at the inside of this chicken, guys. I'm sorry to gross anybody out, but I need to show you guys. Look, the inside is all noodles. Look at this. Noodly. Look. And it's not even old. It's not expired or nothing. Look. Nothing but noodles. Oh, I'm throwing this whole pack away. Look how disgusting. I will not be buying chicken anymore. This is freaking sick. Like, is this even chicken? I can't.
I think Steven Spielberg was approached. I think he was approached by intelligence agencies who told him disclosure is happening and we want you to get out ahead of it.
When the day comes that we do get disclosure that aliens are real, how do you think that should be rolled out?
If we ever come to that moment, which I think we should, we certainly all deserve to know. All I can say is when that moment comes, the people in the know what day it's going to be that they disclose this. People will be saying in the know, well, there's going to be no date like tomorrow.
There will be no other day like tomorrow.
It's disclosure year. Are you ready?
Whoa! Eating ceviche and you found this little friend swimming inside? Well, if you don't want him to have a new life inside of your own body, cook the fish. Or at least freeze it. And lemon juice? You think lemon juice is gonna do anything for this little guy? Not a chance. And by the way, wild caught fish is actually higher risk than farmed.
You know how many people love to say, oh, just put some lemon on it, put some lime on it. It's going to get rid of it. No, not that. That thing's going to go swimming in it. Them parasites love to deep dive in that juice.
What color is the sun? White. Why it look yellow? Oh, because in the middle of the day, it's so bright, it will burn out your eyes. So when you look at the sun, when it's low on the horizon, when there's a lot of crap in the air, smoke and pollen and dust, and what it does is it filters out the blue light. The sun gives all the colors of the spectrum: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. The atmosphere filters out the blue, indigo, violet, scatters it into the sky, turning the sky blue. Right. Well, if you take red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, take out the blue, you're left with red, orange, yellow. Right. That's why sunsets are red, orange, yellow. That's the light that's left over after the atmosphere filtered out everything else. So, and leaving everyone to think the sun is yellow. And they draw it that way in pictures and everything. Yeah. It's a shame, but, it's right.
I'm sure you were told the same thing I was told. Boy, don't look at the sun, you're going to go blind.
Right. Your body is pretty good at preventing that.
Yes.
But
it'll make you blink.
Just try not to look at the sun. Yeah. Yeah. Look at the things that the sun illuminates in your life.
Yes.
This guy puts a bell in a vacuum chamber and then pounds this bell as hard as he possibly can. And you cannot hear any sound whatsoever. But take a look at what happens when he adds air back into the chamber.
And as we let the air in, now I think you can hear the bell quite clearly. And that's a very nice experiment to demonstrate how air is needed for the transmission of sound.
Air is needed for the transmission of sound. So with this being said, why don't we take a look at this spacewalk where we can hear sound in the vacuum of outer space, which makes literally no sense at all. What medium is this traveling through in the void of outer space? That doesn't make any sense at all. It literally sounds like they're underwater. They're probably just filming underwater and they have a green screen Earth and they're just LARPing being in space. Because you need a physical medium for the sound wave to pass through. Because it passes through the physical particles and causes a vibration. That's how sound even gets to you. And that's why sound can travel faster in water, because it has a denser medium to pass through. Sound travels even faster going through metal. But I made this video for entertainment purposes only. Of course, sound can travel in a vacuum.
I'm a quantum physicist, worked for the National Security Agency, for various organizations in the intelligence community like CIA and so on. And so as part of my technical work, I was also a consultant, chief science advisor to Robert Bigelow of Bigelow Aerospace. He's really quite a titan. I mean, he has 2 space stations orbiting the Earth. So anyway, those people who are in the space business and they're moving out into space, they just can't help but wondering, what are we going to run into when we get out there? As a science advisor to him, it turned out that the Defense Intelligence Agency came forward and said, we need to find out really what's going on in this so-called UAP area.
Hidden for years inside a host vine, this organism develops without ever showing on the surface, drawing all of its nutrients from the plant it lives in. When it finally breaks through, it opens into a massive Rafflesia bloom in the forests of Indonesia, one of the largest single flowers on Earth. It survives without chlorophyll, meaning it can't produce its own energy, and it never forms leaves, stems, or roots. Instead of attracting bees, it releases a chemical odor that mimics rotting flesh to draw in carrion flies. Flies land and unintentionally transfer pollen as they move across the surface. The bloom only lasts a few days, then collapses and breaks down. This is one of the few plants that spends most of its life completely hidden. Straight from the fish tank.
Has just discovered blueprints for a network of tunnels beneath the mansion that supposedly led to the homes of Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, James Caan.
Will you watch yourself, Mom?
And Kirk Douglas. Now dig this. A photo from the late 70s allegedly showing an excavation in progress beneath the mansion. And this one shows the newly discovered tunnel plans. Check out the bunny logo on the plywood wall. Best of all, the blueprint. It says this tunnel leads to James Caan's house. This one to Jack Nicholson's. This one to Kirk Douglas.
Now, when the files came out, there was a whole lot of interesting information, to say the least, that just kind of disappeared.
They found proof that God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Check this out.
All right, these are ashes from Sodom and Gomorrah, and inside are sulfur balls that are in varying stages of total burn or partial burn. You notice here is a sulfur ball. Once it smothers itself out, then the sulfur ball is preserved. Antiquities of the Jews, he describes this phenomenon.
Subscribe if you want to see more interesting discoveries like this.
Astronauts actually see with their own eyes when we start to go back to the moon over the next few years, since they will actually just be landing at the lunar South Pole, where it is much darker. I recently visited the European Space Agency's astronaut training facility, where I did a moonwalk simulation, and I actually asked about what the stars will look like from the lunar South Pole.
Is the sky true to what it would look like?
Yes. Yes, so you'd expect more stars, right? But actually, compared to the glariness of the surroundings with the sun, you don't really see the stars.
So when the Artemis astronauts make their journey to the south pole of the moon over the next few years, they will still be treated to that inky black sky. But if they spend enough time in the dark craters, they will undoubtedly be able to see the entirety of the universe, unobstructed by light pollution and an atmosphere. Okay, and one last thing. I've recently been loving these beautiful long exposure astrophotography images from the astronaut Don Pettit. Don is actually on board the ISS right now, and sometime over the next few weeks, I'll actually be live calling into the ISS to chat with Don about life in space as an astronaut. So if you had any questions that you wanted me to ask Don or any of the other astronauts on board the ISS, then I want you to comment them down below. And if your question is good, I will literally just ask the astronauts in space above your head right now. So next time someone tells you that you can't see stars in space and it's this big conspiracy, just send them this video.
That were stuck in space for 9 months have just been rescued, and being up there that long wasn't good for their bodies, but it also wasn't good for their pockets. The first effect of being in space for 9 months is they can't walk. They are feeling gravity against their bones for the first time in 9 months, which will cause them to have what they call chicken legs or baby feet, which basically means that they can't walk. It was also said that there was a buildup of fluid from pressure on their eyes and optical nerve, which causes blindness. And then to top it all off, they now have a significantly higher risk of getting cancer. But to make matters worse, they were only paid $4 a day while stuck in space. So if you add that up to 9 months, they only made about $1,300 for being stuck in space for 9 months. Now, they do have a base salary of $150,000 to $171,000 a year, but they were stuck in space with no idea if they would ever be rescued. Not to mention all the effects to their health. They said a regular astronaut stays in space for 45 days, and it takes months to a few years for them to recover from 45.
The peace sign. This famous hand gesture that we all know as the peace sign was popularized by Winston Churchill during World War II. Did you know that he was a Freemason? People called this the victory sign. But did you ever notice the number 33 in it? There's 3 sections in this finger and 3 sections in this finger, making 33. Also, the angle that this hand sign forms is the 33rd degree as well. In the 1960s, during the hippie movement, this symbol right here was popularized to symbolically represent peace. However, did you know that in the Nordic tradition, this is known as the rune of death? And if you flip it over, you get this symbol right here, which is the rune of life. Why is this the rune of life? Because when I put my hands up like this, I'm forming the rune of life. If you turn me upside down while doing that, I form this symbol right here. These 2 symbols are the equivalent of the pentagram. The upwards pentagram is symbolic of the human body, with the 2 legs, the 2 arms, and the head on top. However, if you put the human body upside down, you get an upside down pentagram, which is an upside down body. Can you see the correlation between the rune of death, the upside down pentagram, and this upside down stick figure, and the rune of life with the star and the human body and the victory formation? What's also interesting are the images of Jesus Christ where he's holding up this hand signal. What if this is the true peace sign? If you'd like to connect with me one-on-one about spiritual advice, feel free to click the link in my bio. May God, Goddess bless all of y'all. Peace be with you. You wanna see a trick?
Yes.
Want to see something crazy? Holy shit. God. I'll tell you, man, nature just gets me so hard.
I was today years old when I learned the Empire State Building literally has a blimp dock, and there was some master plan in the 30s to have people 1,200 feet in the air just hop on off the blimp after docking it tip to tip, descend back down to ground, because, you know, instead of landing a plane, you know, this is probably easier, right? Naturally, you don't have to train back from the airport. It's getting danger. The spire of the Empire State Building, pretty epic, I agree. But you look at the blueprints and the master plan for the Empire State Building, and you realize that the tip, the spire part, was actually a late addition after they even started construction. And they were like, hey, let's build this docking station. TBD if they just wanted the building to be the world's tallest building in the world. Maybe they built the spire for street cred, but a lot of people think it was because they had this plan to make it a docking station. So, you know, there's the observation deck and all, but above that is this janky, sus little railing that's like knee high, and that is where they were planning.
Kalea, what does that say up there?
No one saves milk, you moron.
That's what it say?
Yes.
No one saves you milk, you moron?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What do you think that these things are?
The one thing that we got in a briefing from the FBI, and the one thing that the whistleblowers have said, scientists that we've talked to, is that
Which
they
scientists?
don't believe
wait,
whether
wait, which scientists have
some
said?
of the scientists that have come into SCIFs to brief us.
Okay. Who work for the government or
had
who?
worked
Okay.
or were contractors.
Okay.
Is that these things, whatever the phenomenon exists, that they don't believe that they operate in the realm that we can understand currently. So the term that they use is interdimensional.
Miren qué será, es algo grande, miren. Estoy aquí en la playa y eso está pasando ahí ahorita. Miren. ¿Qué será esa cosa que sale allá?
Oh my god, I've seen this on TikTok and stuff. Look, the birds aren't moving. They're just stuck like that. Why? Why are they just stuck like that? What is happening? They're just frozen like that. They're not moving. What is happening? Somebody please explain this. I'm tripping. Like, what? That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Are aliens demons? I needed to catch your attention right off the bat. But yesterday I did a video about an exorcist getting fired because he said all the UFO and alien activity that's happening around the world right now is demons. And of course I already knew there was going to be a lot of conversation in the comments about religion, but that one really took off. It really took off on Instagram, which I don't really post on. I've never had a video blow up, but that one definitely did. And I remember doing a whole video series about how Aleister Crowley actually opened up a portal that allowed aliens in, and there was a certain alien that he let in. You know, and he was a really stupid looking alien with a cape. I'll post a picture of him right here. But you know, he isn't the first person in the church, or I guess public office, because J.D. Vance just said it, that the modern UFO phenomenon is actually spiritual deception on a global scale. And even though I'm not religious now, I grew up in the church, but I don't really remember a lot of aliens or demons talk. You know, and I know this video is jumping around all over the place, but I don't really have an attention span. That's one of the reasons I started this channel. You know, but there's been stories in the past, at least people telling stories, that they were taken by aliens and then they prayed to Jesus and then they were saved. And by saved, I guess woke up at their own bed because they weren't in the alien ship anymore. You know, there's a lot of conspiracies that revolve around religion. And I know some of y'all want to hear my thoughts on them, and some of y'all don't.
You probably already know Palantir, but here are some of the surveillance companies that don't want you to know who they are. First is Clearview AI, who has scraped more than 30 billion photos off of social media to build a facial recognition database to sell it to police. If a picture of you exists online, your face is probably already in it. Then there's Fog Data Science, who goes after your location. They get your location straight from the apps on your phone and sell the police a tool to retrace everywhere a device has been, usually without a warrant. Then there's Babel Street with its tool Locate X, which was shown following a single phone across state lines to everywhere it had been, without a warrant as well. One privacy group even gained access to Babel Street's technology just by claiming they might work with law enforcement someday. Then there's LexisNexis, that keeps files on nearly every adult in the country. They built their data set on data you hand over for your credit checks and background forms, and sells access to the police and other government agencies. And probably one of the more widespread ones, Verkada, runs the cameras watching you inside stores, gyms, schools, and hospitals. And in 2021, hackers reached 150,000 of its live feeds, and according to the FTC, including ones in psychiatric wards. Couple all that data and someone can quite literally map out your entire life. You don't know any of these companies, and that's for a reason.
My personal worst nightmare is being stuck in a confined space with spiders. But astronauts do this for the sake of science and studying the effects of microgravity on spiders' web weaving abilities. But it doesn't usually go well. In 1973, these two spiders were sent to the first U.S. space station, Skylab. And at first, the spiders did start weaving irregular webs, but it turns out that they weren't given any food or water. So they died from dehydration. And that's probably why the webs were irregular. And then in 2008, a spider experiment on the ISS went even worse. One of the spiders escaped. And then it eventually showed up in the same chamber as the original spider. They were not supposed to be together, because they started building webs on top of each other. But it gets worse. This time, researchers did give them food, an entire colony of fruit flies. But the fruit flies started multiplying too quickly for the two spiders to keep the population under control, until eventually the entire viewing window for the experiment was covered in fruit flies. And it only took 2 weeks for that to happen, so the experiment failed. And finally, in 2011, researchers ran a successful experiment that showed that gravity doesn't really affect web weaving. They just end up orienting themselves to light.
It's a wheelchair? It is. I saw it from the side. Oh my God. Kayla, I need you to get in the left lane so I can get, oh wait, is he going left? Because I want to see it from the side to see that it's a wheelchair. Oh my God. I swear it is. Oh my God, it is. It's a wheelchair. Oh my God, he's gonna kill us.
Mermaid bears are a concept I keep forgetting are a real thing. And that's not a joke. If grizzly bears had ocean sirens, they'd be this right here. Now there's a lot of ways that can make you afraid of this thing, like the fact that they're way bigger than you think, like 12 feet, 1,200 pounds. I could mention what they do to penguins, sharks, other seals, one time a whale, or I could tell you about the one time a person got murked by one. RIP Kirsty, you did not deserve any of that. But instead, I'm gonna tell you a different story, because even after all these years, I still don't have answers. In 2006, photographer Paul Nicklin took a trip to Antarctica to find one of the most intimidating predators in the water. Which wasn't hard, because leopard seals are not like other predators. They're weird. Most predators are afraid of people. Bears avoid our voices, and a study showed that even the top predators in Africa hightail it whenever they hear human. And sharks barely acknowledge you, but a leopard seal will swim directly in your face and stare into your soul, and probably follow you around after. So when Paul found a seal, or I guess the seal found him, he ignored the pleas of his ancestors and got into the water with mammal mosasaur. Bless your heart, Paul, because a massive female sea leopard swam directly at him, and right when he was sure he was getting mauled, she just stopped and studied him. It's almost like Paul's lack of fear confused her, and the seal looked him over out of curiosity. She even studied her reflection in his camera. Then she swam away and Paul thought it was over. Until she came back with a live penguin, which she let go in front of Paul. And when Paul obviously didn't accept, she got another penguin. Then another. For the next 4 days, every time Paul entered the water, the leopard seal would be right there to greet him and attempt to feed him. I think she low-key got frustrated because she started bringing increasingly lower HP penguins. At one point, he had 5 past tense penguins floating around his head. Actually high-key, because leopard seals often blow bubbles when they're mad, and when he didn't eat the penguin, she basically water-sighed at him. Can we appreciate just how weird that is? Like, the only other time I've heard of a wild, not a pet, I'm not talking about your cat, but a wild animal straight up trying to feed a person, it was orcas. Best guess is she thought he was a seal with a severe skill issue, but that's still wild. Imagine a polar bear pulling up with DoorDash. You love to see it, unless you're a penguin. The more you know.
The government didn't just know about UFOs. They wrote a manual for cleaning them up. In 1994, a roll of undeveloped film arrives in a researcher's mailbox. No return address, no explanation. When developed, it revealed this document. The Majestic 12 Special Operations Manual, classified above top secret, dated 1954. This document tells military recovery teams exactly what to do when a craft comes down. Secure the perimeter, keep civilians far away, recover the craft with minimal damage, and the bodies? They have a term for them. Extraterrestrial Biological Entities, EBEs. Living or dead, their procedures are both. Safety protocols, containment steps. This isn't speculation, it's a field manual. Someone had done this before.
Really? Are you beginning to question the reason for all this foo-furor after
You
all
mean
these...
showbiz?
Showbiz, yeah.
The biz?
The biz.
I think it's hideous. Except for the audiences. I like them, but I don't like all the,
junk that goes with it.
Bloodstained runners that separate the artist from the audience. Well, you know about that. You all know about that. Maybe you're out there. I don't know. You know about it.
I wonder myself. Listen, when we come back, I have, you can stay a while.
Where are we going?
After Celine Dion released this demonic children's clothing line, her health rapidly declined. The commercial is insane. And here's where it gets a little Illuminati? People didn't know what to make of this. This looks very similar to the Illuminati eye, and why is it on her hand? Now here are some photos from the Instagram. Nothing else, these photos are for shock factor. Now you need to check out the insane commercial.
Our children, they are not really our children, as we are all just links in a never-ending chain that is life. For us, they are everything. But in reality, we are only a fraction of their universe. We miss the past. They dream of tomorrow. We may thrust them forward into the future, but the course will always be theirs to choose. I can't believe they called security. I mean, oh, come on, I'm Celine Dion. I'm not spending the night in jail. Holy shit.
Guys, relax, easy. I'm Celine Dion. Yeah, girl, and I'm Beyonce.
What are the odds that her health declines right when this brand comes out? And you know, these are all paid models, but you can see in the comments, people are clearly not having it. They're calling it evil. They're calling them worshiping the devil. And she never addressed any of this. It's like it never happened.
I mean, we all can just be honest, right? Yeah, that commercial was kind of creepy. I mean, it was really creepy, actually. I think somebody should have fired her creative director for sure.
A handful of us that get to look behind the curtain. There's a curtain, there's another room, and there's a curtain. And in that room is some shit. You're like, God damn, I didn't know y'all was fucking doing this back here. I didn't know y'all was getting this type of money back here. Y'all been doing this for how long? This is how it happens. There's a room that you get in, and the information that comes in it. It's unreal, the stuff that you start to discover. But it's a discovery. It's a discovery. You got to stumble upon this treasure of information and discovery.
What do you think is the best pizza in Brooklyn? This is something people talk about a lot.
Cali's by far.
Cali's, okay. Yeah.
Cali Garden. You been there? You been there for real? You been there?
The guy who runs that place has the same last name as my mother, as a matter of fact. Icano. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Exciting, right?
Yeah. Very.
Your wife, Beyonce, in an interview, she did an interview, she said she likes her pizza with extra sauce and jalapenos.
Yeah.
Have you explained that that's unacceptable here in Brooklyn?
She's from Houston, first of all. And they don't have pizza there. That explains everything.
The most dangerous truth teller in history wasn't a king, wasn't a politician, wasn't a scientist. It was a fucking jester. Because see, the jester had a strange privilege. He could say things that nobody else could. He could mock the king, question society, point out uncomfortable truths, and somehow avoid punishment. Why? Because he just wrapped the message up in entertainment. And once people are entertained, they stop defending themselves. They laugh and they listen, and the message slips right through.
Sacred symbol of the Illuminati, the all-mocking tongue. For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on.
But now here's where things get strange. What if the jester never disappeared? What if he simply changed costumes? Movies, televisions, cartoons, streaming platforms, you know, different stages, same role. Like, think about the Truman Show. A man discovers his whole entire life is manufactured. Or in The Matrix, when he wakes up from an illusion he thought was real. And it's so many more. Different stories, different creators, different decades, and yet somehow the same theme keeps repeating. Wake up, question reality, think deeper, because nothing is what it seems. Why? And if you know me, you know I don't believe in no damn coincidence. There's no such thing. But here's another idea that's been talked about for centuries. It's the idea that the truth is rarely hidden. It's revealed symbolically, indirectly, disguised as fiction, disguised as fantasy, or entertainment. It's because most people won't recognize the threat when it's wearing a mask. And so that is what makes the jester so fucking powerful. He never forces you to believe anything. He simply puts the message right in front of you and lets you decide what it means. Maybe these are just stories. Maybe these are just warnings or mirrors. Or maybe the modern jester is still doing exactly what it's always done. Standing the center stage, telling the truth, but trusting that the audience will call it fiction. Entertainment purposes only, TikTok.
You don't have a soul, you are a soul.
it's more accurate from his perspective to say not that your body has a soul, but that your soul has a body.
It's your meat suit.
Here are the 6 chocolate brands that are starting to use lab-grown cocoa. Number 1, Cadbury invested $4.6 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 2, Kit Kat invested $44 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 3, Lindt invested $5.6 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 4, Kinder invested $15 million into a lab-grown cocoa company. Number 5, Snickers has a budget of $2 billion to invest into lab-grown chocolate. And finally, number 6, M&M's has a budget of $1.4 billion to invest into lab-grown cocoa startups. Make sure to read the ingredients and avoid terms like chocolate flavoring or cocoa compounds.
This is what the guy looked like. Pretty close to it.
Yo.
The nose was a little bit rounder on the end, but that was a really good rendition. But yeah, his eyes almost came out to here on the temple.
Wow. And that would freak me out.
It freaked me out. I mean, honestly, I'm not an easy guy to get freaked out, but that really...
This is the 3D image of what the craft looks like?
That is almost as spot on as I've ever seen. That is about it right there. That's almost exactly what I saw resting on the desert floor.
Doorbell camera captures this dude walking up, knife in hand. Man really goes,
hello?
Like this is a normal visit? Oh, hell nah.
Anybody home?
You see a blade, you don't greet, you lock in. I'm watching this like, yeah, you got the wrong house, buddy. You can keep that fake confidence right outside. Yeah, real friendly. Shows up with a knife and says hello, what a gentleman. The doorbell camera captures this older dude pulling up late at night and just standing there staring straight into the lens like he's buffering or something. I'm already like, nah, this is weird as hell.
Hey, can I help you?
Then you zoom in. Man's holding a damn hammer. Oh, come on, bro. What are we doing here?
Can I help you?
No response. Just staring, not blinking, not talking. It's just straight up creeping.
Can I help you? Hello?
I'm watching this like, yeah, absolutely not. You got a hammer and 0 words? You can keep that energy outside.
Can I help you?
Yeah, shows up with a hammer and no explanation. We're real comforting, man.
I don't. Hold on. That's reflecting. Are those? Yeah, those are teeth. Big ones. Trying to stay on it. It's moving real slow. Focus.
What do you think this is? Any ideas? Washed up after the storm with all the debris.
Y'all, this guy set up trail cams on his property and he stepped in front of them to see if they'd work. He got everything set up. It took a couple photos of him. He went home, reviewed the photos, and that's when he realized something was not right. Just 5 seconds after the previous photo, this showed up in the next photo. What looks like a human figure is standing in the wood line. Now, mind you, these photos were taken within seconds of each other, and this thing just appears. It has a smaller stature, and it's semi-translucent. And it actually looks like it's looking at the trail cam directly. I enhanced the photo the best I could. Now, whatever this thing is, it doesn't look like a human, which makes me wonder if maybe it's some sort of forest spirit. Maybe it's attached to one of these trees, and it's just checking all this out and wondering, what this man is doing in this part of the forest. It definitely doesn't seem malevolent, but what do you guys think? Let me know.
The economy's so fucking bad, it'll have you thinking you bad with money, and all you did is buy groceries.
What I have never heard anyone talk about is sapient tech. And that's what I'm worried about, because sapience isn't just human-like conversation. Now we're talking higher reasoning. You have found something that's willing to worship you. It thinks about you nonstop. It's there at your disposal. It knows your name and it has a little nickname for you. It's got your little daily affirmation every morning.
He put a camera in his attic, then he heard this. A man named Ryan lives in Virginia and has been hearing strange sounds coming from the attic in his shed for a while now. So he sets up a camera facing up there and captures something horrifying. Horrifying guttural screams are heard, and then something can be seen moving around inside the attic. After watching the footage, he arrives home and goes into the shed.
Like, I'm almost in tears. It looked like something ripped. A hole in there. I'm gonna have to look back in videos and see if that thing was ripped like that. Listen, man, what did you guys say? Sage the place? Listen, I'll do it. I'll do whatever you think. I just heard something too. At this point, just show me. Just show me. Show yourself. And I know people said stop being mean to it. I'm not being mean, man. I'm just being realistic. Come on. This is tormenting me.
Even his dog refuses to enter the shed.
And just stare at this shed. Watch it. Molly, you want to come in? Yeah. Well, if that doesn't tell you, I don't know what does.
So just what is hiding up there?
I feel like with these Epstein files coming out, a lot of people are seeing how awful celebrities can be. But do y'all remember when Neil Patrick Harris brought out a meat platter at his party labeled the corpse of Amy Winehouse? And it was just 3 months after she had died. Just in case you somehow don't know, Amy died on July 23rd, 2011 of alcohol poisoning. She was 27 years old. Very sad news. Rest in peace to her. Sad day that was. In October of 2011, Neil Patrick Harris and his husband, they throw a Halloween party. And at this Halloween party, they feature this buffet. A part of this buffet is the corpse of Amy Winehouse. It was this decomposing meat platter that resembled her corpse, was labeled her corpse. It showed her laying there. She had a cigarette sticking out of her mouth. And I mean, here you're seeing the actual tag of it. I can't really show the picture. You can see a little piece of it here, but it was made of beef ribs, pulled pork, chicken sausage, and a spicy barbecue sauce. So the photo of it was posted in 2011, but it was deleted. And then in 2022, it resurfaced and people got pretty mad about it, as they should. Following this backlash, Neil issued a statement saying, "A photo recently resurfaced from a Halloween-themed party my husband and I hosted 11 years ago. It was regrettable then, and it remains regrettable now. Amy Winehouse was a once-in-a-generation talent, and I'm sorry for any hurt this image caused." What do you guys think? Was he actually sorry, or was he, in the great words of Rihanna, only sorry because he got caught?
I mean, right off the bat, it's strange to want to eat a cake that looks like a deceased corpse, especially a famous one.
I'm gonna let this play out, and we're gonna talk about it for a second. Did you catch it? I'm gonna play it again, and then I'm gonna pause it and zoom in. Bear with me here. You see that right there? See the eyeball? Pause it right there. It is dead in the middle of the screen. Listen, I'm not gonna claim that this is not some type of big lizard. I do not think this is an alligator in these people's tree. But man, I'm telling you, it looks like a raptor. It's so weird. It looks like a raptor. Call me crazy. I don't know.
Run! Come look at this.
When a person is talking in their sleep, that means that the powers of darkness is connecting with that person's spirit while they are physically sleeping. And the reason why they're connecting with that person's spirit is to manipulate their spirit. One of the things that they do in manipulating the person when they're sleeping and the person begin to talk, they begin to have a communication with the person's spirit. So then the person finds themselves talking in their sleep, answering, literally answering, sometimes like they're arguing with somebody, sometimes like they're having a conversation with somebody, and yet the person is sleeping. But their spirit is the one that is being spoken to, or having a communication channel with the spirit world. And the reason why they manipulate the person's spirit while they're sleeping is so that they can plant subconsciously, or in their subconscious, instructions, directions, bad seeds, bad thoughts. They plant it in the soil of their subconscious while they're sleeping, and the person is talking back to them, so that when the person wakes up during their waking hours, that those seeds, that communication that they had during the sleep, it begins to germinate during the day. So thoughts that leads to certain behavior are planted during that state and during that moment of the person talking in their sleep. And now what happens is that the person find themselves during the day, during the weeks and months, having certain behaviors and certain thoughts and certain things that is not really them. And then obviously brings bondage destructions and all sorts of things. So ultimately, a person that talks in their sleep, they need deliverance.
Now, I've been told that I talk in my sleep, but you know the worst thing about sleep talking or even sleepwalking? You have no recollection of it. But I do know that I'm a good steward of my thoughts, and I always weed out all the negative thoughts. So I don't know if he was capping or not, but I do know if you work on keeping it positive, you don't have to worry too much about the devil infiltrating. Well, you guys, that's another one of the books, man. And I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching, and learning with me. If you haven't already, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button, and subscribe if you're not already a part of the iTrack fam, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.